So it's finally been revealed, the 2022 London show poster bike, and we're here with Paul, aka ZiggyMoto, to find out a little bit more about it. So Paul, you made it.
Yeah.
When did you finish it?
Arguably it's probably not finished, but it was about 4 AM this morning. I was back because I stupidly agreed to bring it here.
And be the poster bike?
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
If you're going to do it for something, that's a really good reason, and I'm honoured.
We thought it was finished years ago from your Instagram. I thought it was red or white.
Well, they were all white, yeah, exactly. It would get people saying, can I order the blue one? And it's like, yeah, no, they're not real. So CGI, obviously I use a lot.
Yeah.
And I love that because I can tinker away and make stuff virtually. And then it's really easy, as everyone knows, how quickly I can flip colours. Right. And change things and extrude things. But the thing is, then I get to a point, I guess, where I think, well, this is just too nice. I start getting all excited about it. And then that's when I sort of close down Cinema 4D, the software I use, go to eBay and start tracking things like 749 swing arms or the all-in forks of a 749. And I know I had a CB750 engine, 1972 CB750 engine, and I had to buy a frame, so that's a 70s frame, so no original CB750s were harmed in the making of this bike.
That's good news.
Because you get a lot of that.
I mean, take us around it. That's where to start. I mean, the headlight that blew up Instagram when we shared that a while ago. I mean, oh, the party trick.
The party trick.
It's so good,
It's a gimmick, huh? But, you know, I think there's something, you know, it's
very satisfying.
Fun. And it worked backwards. I think that's kind of one of the big reasons. I suppose I've got a couple of track bikes. I think most bikes, I don't want to say all bikes, but look better without headlights. When I saw first track fairing race bikes, they just look so much meaner. But, you know, the reality is I love that look and clean, but obviously you have to have headlights. So, you know, it seemed like a perfect opportunity. And everything I've done so far has been sort of scramblery or cafe racer or street bike. So I wanted to do something a bit more racy, a bit more race inspired. Yeah.
Because you've had bikes at the shows before, haven't you? You had a bike in 2019? 2019.
I came 2018 just to scope it out and see the talent, because I'd only just started tinkering. And then I had confidence maybe to put something into 2019, which was a CR750 and the XV750, and I got my Ducati 749 in as well. That was amazing. And then I started building a CX500 and this, and we've had 2 years because of COVID.
Because of the show that never was.
Yeah, so I had loads of time. I was pacing myself. I thought I've got until May. And then Dan
and then you finished it 4 hours ago.
Yeah, I know. Dan said, could you do it? I said, oh, I won't be ready. And then Dutch phoned me and said, really? And I said, yeah, okay, I can give it a go.
Thank you for getting it done in time for the shoot. I mean, walk us around. So front end is...
Front end's all 749, so 749 rear and front, obviously. That's the original bodywork. And then I guess the bodywork is kind of interesting because it's the way I approach things. I wish I could make stuff in metal, like Callum and all those guys, they're wizards. But it's an approach where I've got the 3D model, I print it, and on this one, in the past I've CNC'd blocks. For this one I printed effectively the female mould in bits. Right. Pinned it all together. And actually there was a guy, and I wish I remember his name, someone said to me on Instagram, I've done something similar, I use welding rod to pin all the sections together. So you put the hole in the parts in the separate parts of effectively the Easter egg, and that helps alignment. So glued all that together, and then we fiberglassed it out, and actually got some help with that with a guy called Phoenix Fiberglassing. Right. You know, who's good at to do it. So I've done it before in the past, but he's a god at it. So
it's a beautiful job. And the fairing's one piece, right?
Fairing's one piece, which, you know, makes it a bit of a trick to get it on. Yeah. So I basically end up hanging it by its neck and then taking the front tyre off, and then you feed the fairing over it like a necklace, trying not to scrape the ground or start the tank. And I actually use a trestle ladder above it. I found that's the easiest, with ratchet straps.
To hold it by the neck?
Yeah, and that sort of supports it, but there's moments where you think if it all goes horribly wrong. And up until it's painted, that would be fine, but So yeah, so that all goes on in one piece.
Love the way it scoops all the way back here.
Yeah, getting all the geometry lined up. You know, I use the iPhone for scanning stuff, and it's good. You've got to be patient, but it just adds a little bit more reality to, you know, how this and the geometry to get the steering angles and not hit, you know, all these sort of surfaces. And it still needs a bit of fine tuning, you know, from a geometry perspective. So getting all that wrapped up and through was the big one. So that was the moment when I first fitted it. After all that printing, it was about a week's worth of 24-hour printing to do all the panels.
Wow.
And obviously the tank and the tail are the same. And then that, so when that first went on, that was the moment where, you know, on my own, high-fiving myself.
Real, yeah.
You know, it's sort of,
oh man.
it's working. So
yeah. I love the width of the CB750 motor and the carbs versus the sort of the line of the tail and the tank. It's just,
yeah, that's kind of what we're saying. You know, sports bikes now are all edgy and sort of like transformery and loads of surfaces. So I kind of like their simple, clean lines. And it was inspired by the old CR750s. A guy, Andy Goodbits, who kind of wrote the book on them and races them. I get my carbs off of him, and he helped me. He bored out the cylinders and gave me the piston kit. Obviously these CR750 carbs and stuff, but he's got some really lovely old CR750 racing bikes. And they're these elongated tanks. And that's why I was down there picking up carbs for my other CB750 build. And I was looking at his bikes thinking, God, I want to build something classic like that.
Yeah.
And then as I started, it started to go a little bit more contemporary. And so I was going to originally just do the CR750 look. But like everything, I like that hybrid.
Yeah, the sort of neo-classical, neo-retro.
Yeah. You could look at it, it's the idea, if you want to look at it and think, is that a modern bike or an old bike? And just the clarity you get, I guess, with the old stuff. You know, I managed to hide the oil cooler up in the tank, so half of the fuel tank's fuel, the other half's oil.
Right.
There's a cavity between them to try and sort of keep the heat difference between them. And then just run the recycling pipe. So, but then that's all hidden. So the oil tank used to sit on the side here.
Yeah.
And so it just frees up all this space.
Yeah.
So now, you know, with that's all the 749 suspension, that whole setup's all pretty much standard. But just getting it to line up geometry-wise, and it was only a little bit of milling.
I love the way the pipe comes through that.
Yeah, that worked quite well. I was lucky. It was almost happy coincidence. So this is sort of a Yoshi-inspired pipe.
Does the 749 pipe come up through that gap?
Yeah, but it routes one of them round and through, from the rear cylinder through there. I think it's the rear cylinder that goes through there. But everything seemed to sort of fall into place. All the geometry seemed to work. The side stand no longer works. That's about 6 inches off the ground because it's slightly higher. So I'm going to have to revisit that. That was something I didn't realise till the end. And then just trying to keep it as clean. That's the thing with the CGI. I haven't got reality there too. There's a certain amount of reality, but you haven't got to worry about brake lines. And often people say, where are your pegs? It's almost like, well, you know, the pegs aren't on there. I'm looking at proportion and scale, and it's only small. No, you know, it's not, or there's a radiator floating in the air with no pipes. But then it's almost set a benchmark to try and keep it as clean. And I try to hide cables and batteries, so that there's a lithium battery in there.
In the tail?
In the tail, but to get the lighting in there and...
Oh, you've got those natty little lights,
yeah, they're brilliant. Those Kellerman things are incredible.
Can you make them do anything?
See, are they on? Is it on?
Yeah.
You know,
they're brake indicator.
Brake indicator combined and tail light. You know, so that's they're incredible. So, but just to try and keep it clean, super clean, so you kind of can't see all the stuff, because that's what I think is lovely about the bikes we all build. Now this old stuff is they haven't got the catalytic converters, they haven't got all the stuff that modern bikes have, and that's what's kind of liberating, so they can be really super light and sort of feel really free. So but other than that, it's just a few sort of nice bits and pieces, all the motor gadget stuff.
Olin suspension,
yeah,
Brembo
the Olin
brakes.
suspension, you know.
I love the paintwork down here and the colours that you went for in the end.
Yeah, and that was tricky, in and out of different ideas.
And that was Image Design Custom.
Yeah,
did the
they're
paint.
brilliant. Tom and Mandy. Mandy's an unsung hero, and Steve. You know, they did super work.
Yeah.
And
I love that you went with the grey. I was expecting it to be red literally until you took it out of the van.
I think I was worried Dutch was going to be disappointed that I hadn't gone red.
Oh, he's monochrome king. He never paints any colour on anything. He'd love it like this.
Yeah, so no, it's super cool. And then the time, you know, I was going to put slicks on it, and then I didn't appreciate these are actually road legal. So these are Michelins, And at
Road
first,
legal?
yeah, and I thought that, but I've never seen a pattern like it actually. And I thought, are they wet weathers when I saw them on the site? And then no, it's their sort of road legal track rubber, really.
Great.
So it's super cool. It's perfect because it's kind of race inspired, and it kind of fits with the whole theme. I think something a little bit more racy, but it's that. I guess with the tyre looks like a slick, but it can go on the road, and the fairing looks like a track fairing, but it's got the headlight.
Yeah.
It kind of has that duality. And then just the CR is sort of the homage to the old racing bikes. An 836 because it's no longer a CB750, it's a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Oh man, fantastic. I wish we could start it up and hear it go, but
Yeah.
we'll have to save that for another day. We're not allowed to do it here, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to take it on track. And I think at one of your events, you know, if I can,
Bike Shed Festival?
maybe if I can grow some. And
Well, the last one didn't work out so
yeah,
well,
exactly.
did
I tend to come off on them, so
it? Yeah, me too.
it hurt me too much.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but yeah, no, absolutely. Because we've got the engine's a complete rebuild, and we've got a race cam in it, which isn't too raucous with that pipe, but it should sound amazing. So we get it fired up, get it going. So really looking forward to it.
Paul, thank you so much. It's a stunning beast. You bring
Yeah.
it back in May?
Maybe.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, no,
Great.
I'd love to. If you'll have me, that'd be amazing.
Oh, 100%. We'll see you there.
Okay,
Thank you, mate.
cheers.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Please like, follow and subscribe for more Bike Shed content, and don't forget to get your tickets at bikeshedlondonshow.com. See you in May.